Guest Control Systems and Shield Mechanical have been raising money for the LPSD breakfast program in a creative way. For $50, people were nominated to be put in jail. That included snacks, coffee, and treats. And for the cost of $60, they were set free.
COVID was going on, you know, as a business owner, we get hit up probably weekly for sports, you know, all that kind of stuff in town. But I just got to the point where I really felt like there was a bigger need. Like, it shouldn't always be about sports and everything when we've got kids in the community that don't have the basics. We need to start looking after that first.
Jailed citizens were given a tour of the police cruiser and got to speak to local police as well. All money donated to the event goes straight to the breakfast program here in the city. This past November, business owners in the community completed an annual business survey regarding their current situations and their plans and expectations for the future. 283 businesses completed this survey and the results have been released. Some of the key findings in the survey included that 31% of businesses surveyed in Lloydminster are home-based. 41% of businesses surveyed reported that their total revenue has increased the past 12 months, and 86% of businesses in Lloydminster are satisfied with the city as a place to go to operate business.
We just want to ensure that people are connecting to each other and that information is available and shows where we're going forward. And that's very positive. It leads into us speaking to other businesses about coming to the city because there's positive growth and a positive atmosphere.
The survey also noted that 60% of the businesses in the city plan to expand within the next 2 years, and only 3% are planning to close their doors.
And the optimism that's here. We are a very resilient community, being an agricultural base followed with oil and gas. We know what up and down goes like. The business people that support the retail and the industries around our community are very optimistic and very excited. I can tell you the excitement that was felt around the council table to hear that 60% of businesses are looking at expanding. That's terrific.
The city will use the results of this survey to gain a better understanding of the attitudes and perceptions of doing business. Switching over to basketball, the Lakeland Rustlers men's basketball program are looking to remain hot at home later this week. The Green and Gold have won 4 straight as they head into Friday's match against the Kings University Eagles in a home-and-home series. The men have now won 6 straight at home and are looking to ride that momentum going forward.
This is the floor that we practice on every day, you know, we sweat, you know, we're going hard here every single day, so it's definitely a lot easier playing when you're at home. We're used to everything, we're used to the environment, the rims, you know, so, and obviously you want to protect your court, you know, you don't want someone to come into your house and beat you, right, so.
Tip-off time for Friday's home game will take place at 8 p.m. Now let's take a look at your egg prices.
Furniture set and design supplied by Furniture Gallery and Furniture House, downtown Lloydminster.
Welcome back. We now go to our weekly edition of Pet Project at Border Paws Animal Shelter. I'm at Border Paws Animal Shelter for another edition of Pet Project, and today we have a gorgeous cat named Honeysuckle who's been here for quite a while. Can you tell me a little bit about her story and how she came to Border Paws?
So Honeysuckle is our longest resident. She's a 2-year-old, I believe, female, domestic short hair, and she has been in our care since August. She's now been here for 170 days. She's a really nice cat. She's in a condo with 5 other boys. She gets along with other cats. She gets along with other dogs. And yeah, she's really good with kids, older people, pretty much anything. She'd fit into any home, I think.
Yeah, she's been super chill since we've put her on the counter,
likes
kind
her
of bribing her with some treats a little bit. But even before they came out, she was kind of just curious about her surroundings. But she seems like such a sweet cat who will come up to you to get love and pets, with or without treats, I think.
I think so too.
Yes, and like you said, she's fit for really any household.
Absolutely. Yeah, no, she'd fit in good with anybody. And yeah, if, you're looking for a cat, we'd love to get her adopted. 170 days is way too long for an animal to stay in a shelter. So it'd be really nice to see her get adopted sooner than later.
And you mentioned that she'd come in as a stray.
Yes, yep, she just came in. I believe, I want to say Bylaw brought her in. So yeah, she was just kind of found walking around town, and she was quite a bit smaller when she came to us. We kind of love our animals a little too much, so she has put on some weight. But I mean, when you're here too, you don't get to do as much running around, so she could lose a little bit of weight when she gets adopted and has a whole house to run around in.
Yes, and she was in one of the condos that we've been in before.
Yes,
and,
so she's been on before.
I think she was the chillest one out of all the cats in the condo, being the only girl. But no, she definitely does seem like she'd be the perfect fit. Would you say that she'd be fine if there were other animals in the house as well?
Oh, absolutely. Like, she's paired right now in a condo with probably our craziest cats. You've met them before. You know they're all quite crazy. So yeah, no, I think she's a very chilled cat, so I think she would do good in any environment with any animals. It's quite loud here every day, and she doesn't seem to mind. You'll find her just usually lounging in her tree, sleeping.
Yes, for sure. Now, you have an event that's starting now that you started last year after one of the most iconic actresses unfortunately passed away, the Betty White Challenge. Tell me a little bit about the first one last year, and then what you kind of expect for this year.
So yeah, I mean, it was really sad to see, but I mean, Betty White was such an advocate for animals. So, somebody last year started the Betty White Challenge, and it was just so overwhelming with across the world the amount of money she brought in. Our shelter alone brought in over $11,000 last year. So that was absolutely amazing. So it's now becoming, I believe, a yearly thing. So it is today. It's her birthday today. So if you want to donate, you can go right to our Facebook page, and we have a link right on the Betty White Challenge that you can click. And I mean, any amount of money helps. If you want to do $1, we are asking $5, but I mean, anything, right? If you even want to just do $1, that's fine. You can also call into the shelter. We could do it over the phone if you have a credit card, or you can stop on in and we can take the donation from you.
And is it just happening today, or?
Yes, so it's going to actually run until tomorrow morning. So our link on our Facebook page won't, I mean, honestly, if you want to call tomorrow, we could still take the donation too. But yeah, we'll have it go. The link will run till tomorrow morning. So tonight, if you want to donate, just go click on that link and you can donate.
Which is, I think, the perfect first event for you guys of the new year, considering, she, like you said, she was a huge advocate for animal rights. So it's amazing that this has been now put in her name to, create that long-lasting legacy that she has already created. Now, you also have something that's kind of exciting. You have a PetSmart event now happening every month.
Yeah, so it's going to be at the end of each month. I kind of will talk a little more about it next week once we got the details. But yeah, no, we're going to start trying to do that just because it's like, you've been to our events before.
Yes.
It's a lot nicer to go out to somewhere and actually see the animals while you're shopping.
Yeah.
So we actually have partnered with PetSmart, and they are going to plan on doing one once a month for us. I'm not exactly sure the dates yet, but yeah, we're planning on doing that at the end of every month. So, if you can't make it down to the shelter, we'll be doing it the Saturday and the Sunday of each month.
And what would you kind of say to people who want to come out to these adoption events to think about kind of adopting a pet? What kind of advice before they show up?
I mean, you can always, we do do same day adoptions if you do your application ahead of time, but I just always say fill your application out ahead of time, because then if you come down and you meet, your forever animal, you can take them home that day. PetSmart's really nice because it's a different environment. It's not as loud. I kind of feel the animals are less stressed because they don't have the dogs barking, all that kind of stuff. So my advice would just be fill out that application ahead of time. Even if you don't know what animal, just write cat or dog, and come on down and meet the animals.
That's awesome. I'm sure a lot of people will benefit from these adoption events, because I know last year going to different stores like HomeSense and Winners and then PetSmart, obviously, it helped. It was nice and a different environment, of course, for the animals to be in as well. Kind of get used to them being on the outside instead of just being in the shelters. So it's definitely a good thing to have, and you guys have seen some success from it. So it's nice to have those kind of events every month on top of the bigger events that you'll hold throughout the year, which I'm excited to hear all about once kind of plans are solidified a little bit. Now, every week I ask the same question: any donations that you're in need of, or things that you're looking for?
I feel like a broken record, but again, just food, right? I mean, we can always use food. I know we're running a little low on kitten wet especially, so if people have wet kitten food they want to donate, we can absolutely take that. And again, Amazon wish list if you're not really sure what to get.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for joining me today. And Honeysuckle, you were a perfect guest, always just super chill. So I'm sure she will have no problem finding her forever home.
Awesome. Thank you.
Pet Project is sponsored by the Pet Pad. For total pet care, think Pet Pad.
Our Jace Mackey sat down with an author whose book from 10 years ago is being adapted into a series coming soon.
We've never killed anything before.
You've never had it back before.
I'm joined today here on Primetime Local News with Ado Van Balken, a Canadian author whose novel is being adapted into a television show streaming on Paramount Plus at the end of the month. Now, before we get into all of that, I'll give you a chance to introduce yourselves to the viewers a little bit.
I haven't been writing actively for the last, 16 years, 15 years. That's kind of true. I did a serial story for Truck News magazine that only ended about 4 or 5 years ago, and that had a run of 15 years. So I guess I've been writing for 20, 25 years. Done hundreds of short stories, about 35 books, 20 of those being novels. Won a bunch of awards, Bram Stoker, a couple of Aurora Awards, a Tuna, which is the Truck Writers of North America Award for fiction. I won that. Silver Birch Award. Wolfpack won the Silver Birch Award. That was very important and significant an award. It's voted on by school-aged children in the province of Ontario, and you first have to get on a list of finalists, and then the kids have to read a number of books on the list before they can vote. And then they vote on their favorite, and Wolfpack that year was a landslide winner. And it was a lot of fun too, because the award ceremony was down by the lake, and they bussed in kids, busloads of kids. There's like 2,000 of them in the stands. And you walk out and they're all waving their book, your copy of your book, and you feel like a rock star. It was amazing. Best time I've had as a writer up until this year, with all of this promotion going on for Wolfpack, which I'm grateful for.
Yeah, that's what we're here to talk about today. And I'm sure in a couple weeks from now, there'll be a whole new set of fans of Wolfpack as the book is being adapted into a television show. But let's focus on the book for now. Just tell us a little bit about it and why you decided to write it.
Always looking for something different. And I branched out at the recommendation of my wife, who at the time was a children's librarian. She said, "You should write for young adults." So I gave it a try. The first two things I did were anthologies. I was editing books for young adult readers. The first called Be Afraid, the second called Be Very Afraid. And after that, decided to try a novel. And Wolfpack was the one I did. And basically, it's about 4 teenagers who have all the troubles and problems that teenagers face on a regular basis, plus they're werewolves. So they have this secret that they have to hide from people, that they have to always be conscious of. They can't use their abilities in any way to harm anybody, so they're always being held back from their more baser instincts. And they were adopted by a park ranger named Garrett Brock, who raised them as his own. Um, and basically that's it. It's teenage werewolves with all the kind of teenage problems that normal teens have, plus.
Now let's talk a little bit about the show Wolf Pack. It's streaming on Paramount Plus on January 26th, based on your novel Wolf Pack. Now, give us a little bit of the backstory. How did this come to be? Who approached you? How involved were you in all of this? And just a little bit about the show as well.
While the book is geared towards young adults, the show is much darker, sexier, meaner, more violent. So it's kind of lost in that, the book being young adults, the show being for adults. But to carry on with your questions, 2 years ago, I just got an email from my agent saying there was somebody involved interested in the television film rights for the Wolfpack book, and the book had been out of print for 12 years. So I just thought, these people are crazy. Don't they know that the book's out of print? Like, why would they possibly want it? It's been languishing for years. So we worked out a deal, and 6 months later, there was a teaser trailer saying a new series coming from Jeff Davis, who had done Criminal Minds and Teen Wolf, and based on the acclaimed book series by Ado Van Belkom. And I thought, holy cow, I couldn't believe it. I watched that teaser for 3 hours, and my name was still there every time I watched it. I couldn't believe it. And it just went on from there. I mean, 6 months after that, they started filming, and in October we went down to Atlanta to watch the filming on set, and it was just an amazing experience. It's like being struck by lightning and winning the lottery all in the same day. It's very unlikely. If anyone watching this says, "Oh, I want to be a writer too, and I want to have one of my books turned into a TV series," well, everyone does, and it usually doesn't happen, because I've had things optioned for film, and the option time runs out and no one's ever interested in it again. As a matter of fact, when Wolfpack first came out, there were two people interested. One was a associate producer on Survivor, the TV series, and another one had a development deal with Paramount Pictures. And after that initial interest, we didn't hear anything from them. So it's very unlikely that this happened, and I am enjoying every moment of it, and I'm savoring and enjoying every bit of it I can.
That's super exciting. As I mentioned, it's streaming on January 26th on Paramount Plus, so people can obviously check that out. It was great to learn more about this show and your career as well.
My pleasure.